What's up, guys? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of Grown and Gospel. This is season 1, episode 4, and let's get right into the review. Alright, so we start the episode off with Tasha and Nikki. They have a conversation about what went down last night with her husband, right? So she actually lets the audience know that she had an affair the first time that her and her husband separated, because clearly they have separated multiple times because this relationship is not going to work out. Now, she thought that they weren't going to come back together, so she decided to have an affair. All right, cool. And that's how you feel, girl, because at the end of the day, he was neglecting her in the marriage. Like, she said in the last episode that, she would wear lingerie. He wouldn't even look up from his phone. And then she mentioned on this episode how he took his ring off a long time ago. And I'm like, wait a second. So you're telling us that he took his ring off prior to you cheating? Like, girl, this man had no interest in you. Maybe he was interested because of the status that you have or something. But I don't think he really wanted to be with you, girl. Then she hit us with this, y'all. She said, but he had the audacity to call her from his hotel room so that way she could come through. And she went like an idiot. Like, you are so desperate for this man to pay you any attention that you are willing to go sneak around and be with him, and he's your husband? Like, why is he treating you like a sneaky link? This man is clearly playing mind games with her, and she needs to go ahead and let him go. And unfortunately, she gave in to him because that's her husband. And what if she got pregnant that night? Girl, bye. Let's just go ahead and move on. So we have Elijah. He is meeting up with Bree, and he's upset with her because she's like an hour late. She did not text, no call, nothing saying that she was going to be late, which is very rude. But according to Bree, she had work to do. She has a day job, and she has other obligations. So they actually talk about throwing a baby shower for Shauna. And I'm just like, okay, that's cute. A cute little thing that they could do for her or whatever. But here's the thing. When they start talking about, who to invite as far as like the friends go, of course they're questioning if Tasha and Nikki will even show up because they're not getting along with Shauna at the moment. And Elijah is like, what has Shauna done to us? Like, why are we even mad at her? And here's the thing about this show. I feel like we have started in the middle of something and we missed the first 3 episodes, because the drama that has happened between Tasha and Shauna makes no sense to us as the viewers, because we are here in the aftermath. We don't know what was exactly said. Tasha feels like, I guess, everybody don't need to talk to Shauna. Like, I don't know what's going on. But nonetheless, Elijah wants the ladies to clear the air because at the end of the day, they have all been friends for like 20 years or something like that. It doesn't make any sense for them not to be friends. Also, it's clear that Tasha's man is a liar. Now let's go ahead and move along. So now we have the entire group getting together, right? And I'm like, perfect. They're going to clear the air and we're going to move on as far as this Tasha and Shauna situation. But that is not what we got. Bree decides to open up to everyone and lets them know about her past. She decides to let them know that she used to be a stripper, and most of the group was a bit shocked. Nikki, she was here for it. Clearly she has had a past herself, and she was like, oh yeah, girl, you was making that money. I'm like, Nikki, you was wild. Okay, it's clear. But then I have to remember, she has a husband that's in jail for about 7 years, and we still don't know what type of crime that he did. But nonetheless, Shauna, she threw me off because she was like, girl, was you stripping for your man or like at a club? I'm like, girl, how dumb are you? Why would she mention that she was stripping if it was just for her man? Get a clue. It's clear that she was working at a club. She was dancing for them dollars. And Shauna is like, well, I hope that she's able to tell her dad herself and that he doesn't find out any other way. I'm like, girl, if we want to be honest, her daddy is the reason why she was out here stripping, because clearly he wasn't paying his ex-wife proper alimony and child support. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that, Shauna. I'm sorry, but I have to blame Fred for this, because baby girl was out here stripping to help her mother financially because her mom was struggling after being married to a multi-millionaire. At that point, I feel like Fred had to have been a multimillionaire. Cut it out. Or at least a very high thousandaire. Now let's move along. So next thing you know, y'all, we have Nikki. She is getting a phone call from her husband, right? One thing that I noticed about this man is that every time the operator says, you have a collect phone call from, he has the audacity to say, fast cash, every time. And I'm like, sir, you are already in jail for who knows what. I think it has something to do with money, for sure. And on top of that, you call your wife and you call yourself fast cash? Who does that? Nonetheless, I think that's how that man got there. But she's on the phone gossiping, y'all. She is blabber mouthing all of Bree's business about how she used to be a stripper and how, her and Shauna have this beef, but she doesn't want to have beef with her. According to her husband, she needs to move like Michelle Obama because when they go low, we go high. I said, sir, that's not exactly fitting for this situation, but I'm going to let you rock out with that. So Nikki says that she doesn't have any issues with Shauna and that she's going to go to the baby shower. All right, cool. Y'all, we see Tasha. Tasha, she goes to see an attorney, and it's clear that she still wants this man, even though he don't want her. So she goes there to talk about the, possibility of a divorce and the process and all of that. And if you ask me, it sounds like it's going to be a real easy divorce because they didn't have kids together. They only shared one bank account together. It didn't sound like they had any joint property. Girl, go ahead and get this smooth divorce and let's go ahead and move on. So, y'all, here we go. This is where some mess got started. The crew gets together, minus Bree, minus Shauna. You have Jay Brooks, and he feels like because Bree was a stripper, it may cause some type of issue when it comes to the gospel world because we already know she wants to be in that gospel arena, and y'all know they real judgy. So everybody else is like, no, it makes her relatable. It shouldn't be a problem. Now here goes Tasha trying to make a moment about her. She goes on to tell everybody about how she had a date night with her husband. I said, girl, if that's what you want to call it, I would not call that a date night. Because that was y'all being super weird in front of the cameras, trying to avoid having a conversation that y'all should have had months ago. Nonetheless, oh yeah, I want to point out, it was so interesting because she had no makeup on, and I have not seen anybody with no makeup on TV in a while. I said, oh, okay, cool. So, nonetheless, every time she tries to say something about this date night that she had with her husband, you have Elijah jumping in, right? Yes, he does this to everyone. However, in this situation, I was on Elijah's side. I think he was just trying to get clarity on all the things that she decided to do for this man who clearly does not want her. So, Tasha, she gets super irritated. You have everybody saying, Elijah, stop. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I'm just like, so clearly y'all agree with what he's saying, but it's just that he's not saying it in a nice sugarcoating way. Noted. So Tasha, she goes off on Elijah, and I really think that he was sick of her. I think that Elijah was sick of hearing about Tasha's terrible husband. And as a friend, sometimes you do get annoyed with your friends who keep telling you about how trifling a man is. And you're like, are you going to be with this person or keep telling me about it? Because either way, I don't want to hear about it. You know what I'm saying? These people have known each other since they were in the 6th grade. And I think that it is clear that Elijah wants better for Tasha. Especially once Tasha opened up the floor so the group could say whatever that they wanted to get off their chest. And Elijah said, you went from having a 4-bedroom house to having a 1-bedroom. I said, oh, girl, so you were downsizing just to fit into this man's lifestyle. Why? Girl, get up. So I feel like he was trying to be nice when he said that, but it's clear she lowered her standards to be with this man and he treats her like garbage. So either you're going to stay with him or you're going to leave him. Make up your mind. Because when he was like, if you're going to stay with him or whatever, next time y'all get into it, don't go call Nikki. And she's like, you can't tell me who to call. I don't call you. It was like, yeah, because Elijah probably tells you what you don't want to hear, and that's why you don't call him. So you run to your homegirl Nikki, who's going to be like, it's going to be okay, Tasha. It's going to work out, Tasha, because she's trying to be a supportive friend. Yeah, I stand with Elijah. Don't go run into Nikki. You deal with that issue on your own because we are all tired of it. Oh, and another thing that I want to point out was the fact that Elijah, I feel like because he's stuck in the middle between Shauna and Tasha at this point, he's definitely annoyed because why is that drama with Tasha and her husband starting up with Shauna, who has not actually done anything to Tasha? Because we're going to get there, but Shauna did not go out here, spread your business, and lie and do all this stuff that your husband has accused her of. So he's stirring up mess in the friend group unnecessarily. And I feel like Elijah knows that Tasha's husband is stirring up mess. But let's go ahead and move along. So after that, y'all, we get to the baby shower. Now, I must say that the baby shower looked really cute. It looked really nice. They did a good job. Tasha gets there. I don't know what that was on her head, but I was not a fan of it. But she has a conversation with Bree. And in this conversation, they talk about how Elijah kept cutting her off. And they were talking about, the visit that she had with her husband. Now, you have Bree, who's rooting for the relationship because we learned that she has been married and remarried to the same man. They made it sound like she got remarried to a whole other man. But I guess that just made the storyline sound a little juicier. Now, according to Tasha, she said that she's not going to talk about her husband in front of Elijah anymore. And also, she has decided to take her ring off because clearly there is no relationship between them. Alright, so next thing you know, Nikki gets there in a very tacky outfit as well as a matching tacky hat. I wasn't here for it. Nonetheless, she gets there and her and Tasha, they hang out because they're close with each other. Elijah and Tasha, they don't even know where they stand. And everybody, gathers around because it's time for Shauna to come in. She's super surprised. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice that, she was actually surprised. She had her husband there. It was a beautiful moment when everybody surprised her. Now let's go ahead and get to this conversation that Shauna and Tasha had. Because Shauna was like, thanks for coming or whatever. And Tasha was like, I didn't know if I was going to come because we've been in a bad place. And she's like, when we had our meeting, I wasn't really receiving what you were saying to me. I wasn't receptive. And I appreciate the fact that she took accountability. Because Tasha, you came in there guns a-blazing because you were very, my man ain't gonna lie to me. You clearly are lying. That's the vibe you were giving. And your man was a liar. And I'm just like, so you mean to tell me you sat up there and you were going to throw away a 20-year friendship over a man who you recently married who don't even look at you when you put on sexy lingerie for him, and he's the same man who had the audacity to lie on your friend and say that they stirred up all this mess when they didn't? Woo, girl. Thank God you came to your senses. Alright, now let's go ahead and talk about this last scene, you guys, and that was with Elijah going to attempt to talk to Tasha. Now, she feels like she needs an apology from him, and she kept saying it over and over again. If you're not going to apologize, then there's nothing to talk about. If you're not going to apologize, there's nothing to talk about. If you're not going to apologize, there's nothing to talk about. I mean, she said it multiple times. And he's like, lower your tone, lower your tone. Next thing you know, he yells like, lower your tone. And she just walks off. Because she was fed up, she was pissed off. I'm just like, clearly there was no conversation about to be had because you're expecting an apology and he doesn't think that he needs to give you one. Now, this has caused a stir because you're doing all this yelling at someone's baby shower. It's definitely not needed for all this drama. Y'all should have talked maybe after the baby shower was over. And then you also have Jay Brooks stepping in because, as we already know, he is Tasha's brother. And he's like, you're not about to be talking to my sister like that. And y'all, that is where the episode ended. I must say, I am surprised that this show is getting a lot better than what we started with. But I'm going to keep rocking with it. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to our channel, and I will talk to y'all in the next one. Bye, guys.